Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a MySQL instance using Docker, and then we will connect to it using MySQL Workbench. By the end of this, you'll have your MySQL container up and running. Let's get started. First, let's open our command prompt or terminal. I'm using Windows, but the steps work exactly the same on Mac OS or Linux. So you can easily open it up. Before we get started with MySQL, let's make sure Docker is installed and working correctly. We can do this by running a simple Hello World container. If this runs successfully, Docker is set up properly on your system. As you can see, Docker runs a simple message confirming that everything is working. Now that we know Docker is set up, we are ready to move on to creating our MySQL container. Before we get started with MySQL, make sure you have the MySQL Workbench installed, as we will use it later to connect to our MySQL instance. You can download it for free from the MySQL website if you don't already have it. Now let's create our MySQL container. Normally, you might need to download the MySQL image first, but Docker does that automatically when you run the container if it isn't already on your system. So we can jump straight into running the command. So we will enter the following command. So we will run this command right here. Let's break it down quickly and explain it step by step. This part of the command gives a name to our container. This maps MySQL's default port 3306 inside the container to port 3306 on our machine. This sets the root password for the MySQL instance. This tells Docker to run the container in the background using the latest version of MySQL. Let's go ahead and run this. Once you run this command, Docker will either pull the MySQL image if you don't already have it, or start the container immediately. So we will wait for the container to start, and this will take some moments. Now it is finished. Let's check if our MySQL container is running. To do that, we'll use the docker ps command, which lists all the active containers. We will run that command. Here you can see our MySQL container listed with its name, with its port mapping, and status. We are now ready to connect to it using MySQL Workbench. Next, let's connect to the running MySQL instance using MySQL Workbench. As mentioned earlier, if you don't have MySQL Workbench installed, download it from the MySQL website. So we will open MySQL Workbench and we'll create a new container. So I'll just call this connection Docker MySQL, and it's running on our local host on port 3306, username root. But the main thing is we got to specify the password, which we specified in the environment variable. So that's the -e MySQL root password. So we're signing in under the root account. That's the root username, and the password we selected is my-secret-pw. We will put that here. Click OK. We'll get a little warning about the Workbench version. We will click continue, and successfully made the MySQL connection. So we are now connected to the instance of MySQL running within our container. We did not need to download anything from the Oracle website regarding MySQL. We will click OK. We will click OK, and there's our connection. We will continue anyways. Now we have a full instance of MySQL running, and it behaves as the normal version of MySQL as if you were to download it from the website. So just to demonstrate, I have this SQL code, and which I can copy paste and run here, and when we run it, we will see a brand new database with all of the tables and records that we just created and inserted. If you want to stop the MySQL container after you're done, we can use the docker stop command. So we can stop it like this. And if you want to remove the container completely, you can use the docker rm command. And that's it. We've successfully created a MySQL instance in Docker, connected to it using MySQL Workbench, and even tested our connection by creating a new database. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.